What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another film review. Today we're taking a look at The Grudge, which is a movie which I saw sort of promoted a lot about this sort of monster which attacks you in the shower with fingers coming out of your hair, and that's really been my only sort of experience with this movie until I watched it earlier this week. And I'm gonna be honest, when I watched it, I went into this with higher hopes, and I went into this thinking it was called The Grunge. I don't know why I have misread it or misnamed it this entire time. I went into this thinking it was called The Grunge, so I expected some like moldy shower demon type thing which would attack you in the shower, maybe like a comedy sort of horror that's taken on the trope of like the shower demon, which we all fear, we all know that exists, and we all expect to attack us when we close our eyes when we wash our hair in the shower. And the shower demon is not going to catch me lacking because I'm always prepared. But without any further delay, let's take a look at this actual movie, what it's actually about, and what Google has to say. So, The Grunge, it came out in like 2019, 2020, something like that, and it has a 4.4 out of 10 on IMDb, a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 4.3 out of 5 on Amazon. So pretty low scoring, which I kind of agree with, but we'll get onto that a little bit later. You can watch this on Netflix, Amazon, Sky Star, and Google Play. Muldoon, a detective and single mother, investigate a murder in a suburban neighborhood. Soon she realizes that the house in which the incident occurred is cursed by an evil force. So, how this actually starts is with a woman living in Japan who is moving back home, but the house that she was staying in had a demon in it because if you die, your spirit lingers and attaches to something, and if they go to the house that the demon's lingering in, it attaches to you and you can't get rid of it. I think that's the lore of this demon that they go in. She comes back to the USA, moves back in with her family, and the demon continues to attack her, and I'm gonna go this story like sort of logically in the order of events that happen, not as they're shown to us, but how they go in timeline order. So she goes to the family, she goes there, and she starts to slowly go insane, seeing a small child and befriending a small child, which she is the only one that can see, and is a demon that is trying to kill her. And we then have her husband try and get someone to, you know, help her have an easy death, someone that can sort of kill her with a nice death. And then we also, you know, do that. She declines that, but they, you know, go home and have a nice meal together because she refuses to kill the girl because she isn't in the right mind. Unfortunately, that girl then goes psycho, kills her husband, kills her sort of potential killer, and then kills herself. The people that were investigating this murder went crazy and killed themselves, or tried to kill themselves, because apparently he didn't fully die when he shot himself in the brain. And the detective locked him up in like a psychiatric ward. He has a new sort of person, a new sort of detective, new sidekick, and she's investigating this house because it's connected with another murder, and someone is trying to sell that house, and that guy has a pregnant wife at home, and he goes into that house, the demon attaches himself onto him, and he unfortunately doesn't make it. I don't believe the woman makes it either, and the demon wins because you can't actually get rid of it, and that's how the movie ends, with everyone being dead. Love that for us. Gonna be honest, the fact that the movie ends with everyone being dead, kind of sucked, because there's no way to get rid of the demon. So, you know, they don't get rid of it successfully. I'm pretty sure they're all dead, because it leaves it very ambiguously. It kind of shows them all being, quote-unquote, dead, but whether they're dead or not is a different matter. So, you know, that's fine. It also shows the demon watching other people as well in the end. So the demon lives on and the main people die. So that's brilliant. I'm gonna be honest, the scares in this movie were so shit. It was just a hand that came out of the bathtub, a hand that came out of someone's hair. Yes, that's creepy. Yes, that's disgusting. But is that it? Is that it? It's just a lot of characters screaming and
it tries to do psychological horror and tries to get you with, like, in their head, because they're the only ones that can see this guy and see this demon. But it just doesn't hit, because it's just the same girl who's crying, and there's no one that they tell. They keep it to themselves, so it doesn't make them look crazy, and it doesn't give them that sort of connection with other characters to try and get them to believe them. They keep it all to themselves, so the cast of characters is very small and very tight-knit, to the point where there's very little character drama and character sort of connection, and the two people that it's targeting don't even fucking communicate with each other. They don't even acknowledge each other. They just run their stories simultaneously. So this movie's taking on two different stories at once about the same demon attacking two different people. It is also not in timeline order like I explained it, and even I didn't explain it very easily, because it is jumbled. Like, the detective is slowly uncovering the sort of story of this house, this demon, as the demon is attacking another guy and her kid, and they don't do much, to be fair. Like, the demon constantly scares the shit out of them, but it doesn't do much, and it tries to kill them, but doesn't kill them. Like, it had her head held under the water, but it decided to let go. If you're gonna kill them, kill them. Don't toy with them. Like, I don't understand. They're just toying with them, and it's feeding off their fear, but we never really see that, and the only times we actually see the demon is when it's stood behind them and it's making a god-awful sort of that noise, and it's awful. That noise is awful, and that's the demon's noise. It's not scary, it's just annoying, and it's extremely loud for no apparent reason. They use very loud sounds to try and get you, and that doesn't get me, it just pisses me off, because I'm constantly changing the volume on my TV up and down, because they talk really quiet, but when the demon arrives, it gets really fucking loud, so I have to keep turning it up and down, and it just builds a little bit of resentment to the movie, and a little bit of annoyance, instead of enjoyment. The demon is also not that scary, I'm gonna be honest. It's not realistic like some of the other movies which I'll be talking about. Again, like I say, realistic movies are the ones which scare me the most, because they're more likely to happen. And some of the times, the demon doesn't even show up long enough for us to be scared of it. Like, it will pounce, the character will scream, and then it'll disappear. That'll be it. Like, there is no continuation. It'll just pounce and disappear. There is no point to that pounce other than to get a reaction from the audience, but that pounce has no payoff. It is just there to get a reaction. And that's not that good of storytelling, I'm gonna be honest. If you're just trying to get a reaction, like, make it make sense to the story. Don't just make the demon launch itself to then disappear. Because why did it disappear? Why didn't it follow through with the attack? Why did it just stop? Why didn't it kill the person? Why is that one still alive? Why hasn't she died yet? Like, this movie has a lot of plot holes, and the acting is rather good. I'll say the acting's rather good. Set design is quite boring. It's just a generic, creepy old mansion house, which has a load of sort of, like, vintage collectors. I don't fucking know, like a vintage style with, like, a big clock, a sort of big sort of chair, big sofa, like a stag head on the wall. It's just generic sort of house design for, like, a horror house. It's nothing too over the top, it's nothing too unique, it's all just the same type of shit, and it's just not scary. It kind of bored me, and I was playing on my phone when I was watching this, because it did not hook me in, it did not sort of capture me. It did try and get you into the story straight away with a, like, instant action sequence with the woman having the demon behind her and something grab her leg in the sort of rubbish that was on the floor, but she wasn't that important. Like, that's the most action we saw throughout most of the fucking movie, and it was at the fucking start. Like, it was at the start. Like, there was nothing else. It was all from the beginning. And if you're just gonna show all your stuff at the beginning, you're gonna reveal all your cards at the beginning, it leaves no mystery. It leaves no sort of connection or sort of questions for the audience. When you open a movie, especially a horror movie, if you reveal too much about your villain too early, it takes away a lot from the movie, because you no longer have questions, because it's all explained to you straight off the bat. It sets the stage, but you don't have questions. You're not hooked in. You don't, you understand why it's happening, who it's happening to, and what's going to happen throughout the rest of the movie. It becomes predictable and boring. Having a villain which is unpredictable and has a set of rules to follow that you have to work out as the movie goes makes it more exciting, makes it more engaging, rather than just having everything shown to you right off rip and sort of explained to you through text on a screen. The demon's sort of lore was fully explained out to you on the screen within the opening credits, and I don't like that. I personally would rather to be explain that to me with like a show don't tell type situation, but instead of a character telling me, it was just on the fucking screen, which is even fucking worse. So this movie is a 4 out of 10 in my opinion, and I'll see you all later.